All right. So um, let's continue. So who can um, define or tell us what a tax system is from our studies last week? Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Yes. Good evening.
All right. Uh, a tax system, you said it's a tripartite arrangement involving tax policy, tax law, and tax administration.
All right. Thank you. Yes, that is what a tax system is. The three come together to form what we have as a tax, what we call a tax system. Yes. So that last week we also looked at tax. Also, we looked at the three aspects of the tax system, right? Please confirm you can hear me, just with a reaction. All right. Thank you, Mr. Gabriel. So last week we looked at the tax policies. We looked at tax laws. Then we also looked at tax administration, right? So where we stopped last week, I said I was going to discuss the different taxes that each of the tax bodies are entitled to, right? So that is what we are diving right into now. So we start with the taxes collected by the federal government, right? So without going into our note or without looking at our note, we know that VAT, that's value added tax, is collected by the federal government, right? We know that, in fact, before I continue, who can tell us, apart from VAT, another tax collected by the federal government? Mr. Gabriel David is certainly not you now. So let another person talk. Okay. All right, Mr. Shegun. Yeah, yes, yeah.
Withholding tax. Good evening, everyone.
Yes, good evening,
The
Mr. Shegun.
federal government collects the value added tax, withholding tax,
All right.
company income
Eh,
tax.
yes, you said withholding tax. I have a problem with that. Not that they don't collect withholding tax, they do. But it's not all withholding tax that federal government collects. So can you specify the withholding tax that is due to the federal government?
Okay, it is the withholding tax that is based on the invoices given to the customers or vendors.
Yes, I agreed. Even the withholding tax that state collect, it's also based on invoices.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Daniel, you want to say something?
Yeah, good
Mr. Shigo, I'm
evening,
coming back
everyone.
to you, please.
Good evening, everyone. So, the withholding tax that is being collected by the federal government includes withholding tax on interest and dividend to directors. Equally, the federal government collects company income tax.
All right. Uh, thank you. But I, I am looking for something in that withholding tax. Yes, it is true. Federal government collects withholding tax, right? Of interest, dividend, or pay to a director or pay to anybody, right? Or pay to company. Federal government collect. State government also collect the same thing, right? State government also collect withholding tax. But I want to know there is a particular withholding tax that there is a difference between the withholding tax received by federal government and the ones due to the state government, right? So it's very important that we know the difference. Who else wants to try? All right, so let's not waste time on that. Now, the withholding tax that is due to the federal government is that of an incorporated company, right? Like a limited company and PLCs, that's public liability companies. They are all due to the federal government. So any withholding tax you deduct from their invoice, it is due to the federal government. Then any withholding tax you deduct from, let's say, contract staff, um, business name, that is unincorporated companies, and other individuals, they are all due to the state government, the state of residence of that individual or that business name. Is that clear?
Please, can you recap, sir?
Okay. Like I said, the withholding tax that is due to the federal government is the withholding tax from invoices of incorporated companies like our limited liability companies and PLCs. Those are the withholding tax due to the federal government, right? Then any withholding tax you deduct from individuals and business name, that is unincorporated companies, they are due to the state of residence of that individual or that unincorporated company. Now let's take for instance Mr. Shegun came to work for me in my company and we agreed on a certain amount of money to pay him. He's not my staff, right? He's not my staff, he's just on that contract. The moment he finished the work and I am paying him, I am expected to withhold a certain percentage of that amount, right, from his pay. that amount I am withholding, I am not sending it to the federal government. So if Mr. Shego lives in Ogun State, I am sending that amount to Ogun State Internal Revenue Service. If Mr. Shego stays in Lagos State, I am sending that amount I withheld to Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, not to the Federal Inland Revenue Service. Is that clear?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So then another taxes or another tax that federal government collects is the company income tax, like we said earlier. Another one is this CGT, capital gains tax. We have stamp duty, we have import duty. They are all taxes collected by the federal government. We have petroleum gains tax. We have tertiary education tax. Then we have personal income tax of people in the armed forces, people in the police, right, and staff of ministry of external affairs and non-resident individuals. Their payee is to the federal government. Is that clear? That is the army, the navy, air force, those in the armed forces. Their payee is going to the federal government because sometimes their residency status is difficult to determine because of the nature of their job, taking them from one place to the other, right? Those people, their payee is to the federal government. Police also, members of the police and members of external ministry of external affairs and non-resident, their payee is to the federal government, and those are the taxes due to the federal government. Is that clear? Any question
Very
on
clear,
that?
sir. Very clear, sir.
All right. So we go to taxes and levies to be collected by the state government. So we have seen the levies and taxes to be collected by the federal government. We are moving to the state government now, right? I think we differentiated between levy and tax in our last class, did we? Because I'm saying
I'm
taxes
not
and levies. Eh?
okay. I'm not in class last. I'm not in class last time. But can you just kind of recap?
All right. Let's hear from those that were in class last week. Did we differentiate between levy and tax? Hello, who was in class? Talk to us. Oh. Okay, Mr. Gabriel said we did not differentiate between taxes and or between tax and levy. So let's briefly do that. Now, let's let's use the definition of tax, right? Tax is charged, or tax is an amount of money charged on the income of individuals and companies of a particular country, right? This is not charged in return for any favor from the government. You know, you are not paying tax because government is rendering any service to you. Abino Biso. So we are not paying tax to the government because the government is giving us any service. But levy is charged on, or is charged in return of in return for a service. Levy is charged in return for a service rendered by the government. Is that clear?
Yes, it is.
All right. So that's just the simple distinctions between tax and levy. Levy is for a specific, or is charged for a service render, like court fee, right? Any fee you pay to the federal government for legal services rendered is known as a levy. That is not a tax, because tax is not charged as a result of any service rendered to you by the government. So that's just the simple distinction. So let's move forward. Let's continue with taxes and levies collected by the state government. So the first one is our payee that we all know, pay as you earn, which is also the personal income tax. That's the first tax that the state government, sorry, collects, and this is determined by the residency rule. Now, before we continue, let me ask this question, right? So let me say, okay, let me say Jayeola Jumi, right? I hope I got the pronunciation well. Lives
Yes,
in
sir. You get right.
okay, lives in Ogun State. Sorry, this person, is he a male or a female? Let me use no, oh,
I am a female, sir.
okay. Thank you. So let's say she lives in Ogun State, but she works in Lagos State. Her office is in Ikoyi in Lagos State, but she lives in Ogun State. If she's paying her personal income tax or her payee, which state is she supposed to pay to? Lagos State or Ogun State?
Ogun State, Ogun State, Ogun State.
Okay, why?
Should be Ogun State because that's the where she really resident. She is where she really reside, but she works in Lagos State. But where where the person is domicile should be the one collecting the tax. Where the person lives.
All right. Any other opinion apart from this? So we all agreed with him, right? If you agree with him, react. Let me see. Okay, Mr. Daniel, you want to disagree with him? Good. Let's hear
Yeah.
from you.
So, good evening once again. So, good evening once again. So, the
Yes.
tax should be paid to where this fellow had spent at least 182 days out of the year. So, even though she works in Lagos and lives in Ogun State, sometime though logically we say it should be paid to Ogun State because that's where she resides. But let's say she spend more days in Lagos than Ogun State, then apparently it's going to be paid to Lagos, not Ogun State. So it's dependent on where she spends um, half of the year, the state where she spent at least half of the year.
All right. Yes, Mr. Daniel, you are correct. Okay, Mr. Shegun, you want to say something?
Okay,
We are listening.
thank you, sir. But basically, yeah, as you said, the first item on the tax is the pay as you earn. So I believe the pay as you earn, if you are talking of is an employee working in an organization, so it is where he earns or where he earns that the tax supposed to be deducted from and paid to.
All right. So what you are
So
saying is she should pay her tax, her
in
pay as
Lagos,
you earn to Lagos State government, right?
yes.
All right. So any other opinion? Abi, since Lagos State and Ogun State are dragging her payee, she should just pay to the federal government to settle it. Abi? All right. So thank you all
And
for
now,
your.
then she pay to federal government.
Okay, make she pay to federal government, Abi.
It's not possible now. It's an individual tax now.
All right. So Mr. Muiwa say make she pay to federal government. It's true now, since the two states are dragging it. All right. So just like Mr. Daniel said, the residency rule. When we get to personal income tax, we will know more about the rule. Yes. So where okay, Jumi, it's like you wanted to say something. I think you'll be the one to decide where to pay to.
Exactly. At least it's a tax that we are struggling with here.
Yes, so let her decide. Funny enough, she has left the call. I guess it's a network. Okay, so based on the residency rule, wherever a person stays for up to 183 days, as Daniel said, that person is deemed to have resident in that place for that particular year. So the instance I gave, I didn't go deep into the residency rule because we are not dealing with personal income tax now. That is why I didn't say where she spent how many days she spent, how many days here. No, I only say she lives in Ogun State but she works in Lagos State. That is assumed that after her work every day she goes back to Ogun State where she lives. So if that is the case, her tax will be paid to Ogun State. Personal income tax is not where the income is earned, it's where the person lives, it's where the person resides, right? As the moment you can determine the residency of that individual, the individual's payee should not, or where to pay the individual's payee to should not be a problem, right? So wherever the person resides is where the person should pay his or her personal income tax to. Is that clear? Any question, any confusion on that? Okay, Mr. David.
All right. Sorry, sir. What if, from the scenario you just painted now, okay? What if probably she's working in one of the departments or agencies belonging to Lagos State, whereas she resides in Ogun State? Will she still be paying her personal income tax to Ogun State government?
Okay, I'll come back to that. Mr. Gabriel David, let's hear your question or your
Okay.
contribution.
I said it's actually a question and a clarity, though. So I said, what if she's working under
Oh, sorry.
one of
I've
the.
uh,
Mhm.
sorry, I got that. I thought it's another person that raised his hand. Sorry about that, please. Now, wherever she works, even if she's working with the federal government, right? Where she lives determine where she pays her tax to. Yes, we know we are in Nigeria. We may witness some irregularities, but that doesn't change the fact that where you reside is where you should pay your tax to, irrespective of where you earn your income, right? It is the residency of the person that determines where the person pays his or her payee to, not where the person earns his income from. Is that clear? So if Lagos State, or if the person is working with Lagos State government and lives in Ogun State, right? If Lagos State government is not deducting the person's payee and paying to Ogun State, it means Lagos State is cheating Ogun State, which is not fair. It's not fair and it's not legal. Mr. David, is that clear? Okay, talking about nations, right? When we get to company income tax, we'll talk more on that, right? Then, okay, Mr. Shego, I'm coming to you. Now, if we have non-residents, right? Non-residents, like the person is not residing anywhere in Nigeria, the rule change or the rule changes, right? Because if you are not residing in Nigeria, you cannot be earning money in Nigeria and you don't want to pay tax in Nigeria. You must pay tax in Nigeria. So if you are a non-resident, the residency rule does not apply. It's your presence, right? That is your economic presence that determines where you pay your tax to. Okay, so Mr. Shegu, let's hear from you.
Okay, thank you, sir. I actually want to get some explanation regarding the PE and the PIT. Please, can you explain much more further regarding these two terms?
Okay,
Thank you.
PE and PIT,
Yes.
right? Okay,
Yes.
PE, as we know, is pay as you earn, sorry, which is largely, or which is basically on the income you earn from employment, right? Is on the income you earn from employment. Personal income tax, which is PIT, is on all your income. If you are doing a side hustle, if you are doing another, like that, anywhere you are working, all the income you earn, everything including your payee, that is what makes up your personal income tax, right? That is why at the end of every year your employer will send your annual return, right, to the relevant tax authority. It is expected of you to also do your annual return, and when you are filing your annual return, you will see a space for other income, right?
Yes.
So that is to tell you the government wants to know your personal income tax that you have paid. If you earn anything from a royalty, if you earn dividend, they want you to declare it, because dividend, uh, the company paying you dividend is supposed to withhold part of it, right? Now let's take for instance, you are working with, let's say, Zenith Bank. Let's take for instance, you are working with Zenith Bank and you have some shares in UBA. You know, as UBA will pay you dividend, they are supposed to withhold a certain percentage. I think dividend now is 10%. It's still 10%.
Yes, it is.
Okay, they are supposed to withhold 10% of that money before they pay you the remaining one, right? You know, Zenith Bank, which is your employer, will not be aware of that dividend, so they are not aware of it. What they are aware of is only your payee, which is charged on the amount they pay you monthly as your salary. But you are supposed to declare that dividend that UBA paid you during the year. You are supposed to declare it to the government. That is why it is mandatory for individuals to also file their annual return. So payee is part of personal income tax. Personal income tax is the house, or is the body that houses the whole taxes that you pay on your income as an individual.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Is that clear now?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So let's continue. The next tax to be collected by the state government is withholding tax on individuals and enterprise, right? I believe I said this earlier. We have explained this already. Do we still need to dwell more on this? All right, so let's continue. Then capital gains tax on individuals. Who knows what a capital gains tax is? We talked about this in our last class. Who is talking to us? So, capital gains tax. Okay, Mr. Gabriel.
Okay, you said is the tax paid on profit generated from sales of tangible assets.
All right. Yes, thank you. That is it. So we have a capital gains tax for companies. That one goes to the federal government. When I mean company, sorry, I mean incorporated company. Then capital gains tax of individuals goes to the state government, the state of residence of that individual. Capital gains tax from enterprise, that is business name, unincorporated company, goes to the resident state of that company, of that business name or enterprise, right? We have stamp duties on investment executed by individuals. Then we have post betting, lotteries, gaming and casino taxes. We have road taxes, business premises registration. Then we have development levy for individuals, naming of streets, registration in state capital, right? Because when we get to taxes collected by local government, you might still see this naming of street. So naming of street in the state capital, like if you are in Lagos State, Lagos State government will not come to Surulere local government to collect naming of street levy. Is for the local government, but any street in Ikeja, which is the state capital, any fee levied on naming of any street in Ikeja is to the state government. Please, let's know the difference. Is that clear? Then right of occupancy fees on lands owned by the state in urban cities of the state. Then finally, market taxes and levies where state finance is involved. Not just all markets, markets that state finances. So those are the taxes collected by the federal collected by the state government. Any question on this? Any question on this? Are we good to go?
Yes, we are.
All right. So we go to taxes collected by local government. So number one, shops and kiosks taxes. I believe this is self-explanatory. We have tenement rate, we have marriage, birth and death registration fees, We have slaughter slab fees, like all these abattoirs. We have on and off liquor license fees. We have street naming registration, except in state capital. So this is why I took enough time to explain that naming of street earlier. So we have market taxes and levies excluding any market where state finance is involved. I also took time to explain this. Then we have motor park fees, domestic animal license fees, bicycle, truck, canoe, wheelbarrow, and cart fees, other than a mechanically propelled truck, right? Then we have a cattle tax payable by cattle farmers. We have road closure levy. We have radio and television license fees, other than radio and television transmitter, right? We have signboard and advertisement permit fees. Those are the taxes collectible or collected by the local government. Are we following? Any question on this? All right, so let's move to problems associated with collection of taxes in Nigeria. So number one of the problems is insincerity on the part of the collectors. That's one of the problems. Insincerity. Number two, improper books of account. Right? Some accountants are guilty of this. Improper books of account. They will not keep proper books of account. They will not keep proper record. Some intentionally do it. Then some unintentionally do it. Then high cost of taxation is also a problem of tax collection. False declaration of income, like the personal income tax that we just talked about. The government allows you to declare your income. So some people will not want to declare all their income, right? Then the other one is overstatement of expenses, so that your taxable income will reduce. For your taxable income to reduce, you overstate your expenses. What you did not buy, you say you bought, so that your taxable, if your taxable income reduces, your tax payable will definitely reduce. Then we have tax evasion. Now, this tax evasion, who can differentiate between tax evasion and tax avoidance? Hello, who wants to talk? The difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance. Okay, Mr. Daniel, let's hear you.
So I just want to try tax evasion is a way of illegally um, running away from paying tax completely. Why tax avoidance is a way of using tax laws and tax loopholes. Sorry, loopholes in tax laws to avoid payment of tax.
All right. Yes, that's just it. Thank you. That's it. But I hope you know that tax avoidance is also unethical as much as tax evasion. So the difference is tax evasion is illegal and unethical, but tax avoidance is legal but unethical, right? So capitalizing on loopholes to avoid tax is technically legal, but it is not ethical for a professional accountant to engage in. Is that clear? So tax evasion is one of the problems of tax collection in Nigeria. Then lack of adequate amenities. Then language barriers. Language barriers like some some countries still use their some countries use their local language to send invoice, right? So if you don't understand the invoice, or if the tax authority does not understand the invoice because of the language, collection of such tax will be difficult, right? So practically, any addition to the problems of tax collection in Nigeria. All right. So another problem, which is one of the major problems, is double taxation or multiple taxation. So what is multiple taxation? Multiple taxation. So multiple taxation can be seen as a regime under which similar types of taxes are imposed on a particular product. Example of multiple taxation. Can you still hear me? Please react if you can hear me. All right. So example of multiple taxation in Nigeria, we have VAT, right? Then on some products, we still have consumption taxes, right? So consumption taxes and VAT, they are all the same. They are the same types of taxes, right? But they still impose them on some items. So those are the examples of multiple taxation. Then we have types of taxes introduced and collected by local government vary from one local government to the other. Some of these taxes are sorry. We are done with local government taxes. So finally we'll look at what constitute or what causes this multiple taxation. What causes this multiple taxation? Number one is multiple tax collection agencies. Let's take Lagos State for instance. You know we have so many tax collectors in Lagos State. If you stay in Lagos State, you understand what I'm saying. Go to motor parks alone, you see different types of motor park boys collecting taxes. Different people collecting the same taxes from one vehicle. If you stay in Lagos and you've not witnessed something like that before, react, let me see. Okay, then plenty. So that's the problem. It's part of multiple taxation, right? And you cannot do anything about it because they have the backing of the government, right? Then we have mounting of roadblocks. Some collection, you will see different types of roadblocks. Let's say if you have traveled from Lagos to the eastern part of the country by road before, you understand what I'm saying. Different roadblocks, and each of these roadblocks you come to, you will drop something, right? So those are the problems or the causes of multiple taxation. How do we remedy this problem? Thank God for the new tax policy that harmonized different types of taxes into one. I think about 13 forms of taxes have been scrapped already in this current tax policy, if not more than. Then another way to remedy this is proper education of the tax collectors, proper orientation of the tax collectors, right? Another way to remedy this is to reduce the number of tax collectors, digitalize the process of tax collection. By this, we will reduce the number of taxes we collect in the country. Any question? All right. Who is okay? Is anybody asking any question before we go tonight?
I think we are good.
Okay, we are good, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay, Mr. Daniel, let's hear you.
Yeah, please, sir. It's not related to this tonight's topic, but I just wanted to ask if anyone has ICANN taxation pack, like the most recent one, like if they could please share on the group. The one I'm using is 2021, and I think it has been updated or something.
Okay, I think, though I don't know, but I think that 2021 for taxation is the most recent of ICANN packs. I think
Oh,
so.
okay, sir.
Yes, I think that's the most recent. Then I think FR is 2022 as the most recent. So any other thing? All right. So if there's no other question, we call it a night. Remember our FR class that we were supposed to hold on, was it Tuesday that we could, yes, on Tuesday that we could not hold. We are holding it tomorrow. So if you are part of FR, get ready for the class. So good night. See you tomorrow for FR and see you next week for taxation.